You ain't gotta give me records. I ain't do all that. That's too
Yeah,
much.
we're not doing records. No,
you gotta go through every team and figure out and line it up to make it make sense. No, who gonna win in the division all the way down to last? Give me your NFC West.
My NFC West. I think the division winner. Even though I think they're gonna regress a little bit and they might, they're gonna have real adversity this year. 49ers. I think it's they just came off of a Super Bowl appearance. That team is still stacked. They've retained Ayuk, my boy Ricky. Poor Ricky. Shout out to him. I hope he recovers soon. But I think the Niners are going to be number one. I've got the Rams at number two. I think that they're going to even make the wild card. I like them as a late wild card round.
Okay.
Playoff appearing team. A dark horse that I've got, because I put my horses next to all these certain teams here. Seahawks are going to come in at number 3, but do not be surprised if they come in at number 2 in this division. I think they have the makings for a really fun team. It's it's up to Geno Smith, right? Your team's ceiling is only as high as your quarterback.
Yeah.
Really.
Truly.
And then number 4 is going to be the Cardinals. They're going to be so fun to watch, that offense, but I think their defense has a lot of work to do. I got them coming in at 4.
Hey, we have the exact same order. The exact same damn order. Now, that's interesting that you say you feel like the Seahawks can make second. I did go back and forth with that. But it's just Geno. Do I trust Geno or Matthew Stafford?
That's what ultimately was a deciding factor for me too.
I get a lot of people don't like Stafford, but man, Stafford's still a good quarterback.
Oh yeah.
He's still a good quarterback. I get all the jokes and all that shit, but he's still a good quarterback. But I'm with you, man. I'm with you with the Niners. I think the Niners are gonna have a little. I gotta go see their first 4 games, but they're gonna have a little adversity for real. Because I feel like Ayuk, he made that situation weird. I feel like he always wanted to go back to the Niners because you got people giving you who gonna say, yeah, we're gonna pay you, and all. He's like, hell no, I don't want to go there. So it's like, I think he really just wanted to stay in San Francisco, and he just made that shit just got drawn out for too long. I mean, hey, he is a veteran now. He ain't got to go practice. And one thing that made it weird, a lot of the shit that's going on in the NFL right now, players are doing all these hold ins. You're at practice, you at position meetings, team meetings, and you're just not practicing because you want to get you're working out. So that's new. Because he did that. Jamar Chase was doing it or is doing it.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about him. I don't know if they're going to pay that man or not by the time Sunday get here. That'd be crazy if they don't. But hold out. I always say, especially NFL, get your money.
Yeah.
Make it weird if you want to, but get your money because they'll cut your ass. Hey, do like Chris Jones did.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jones sat out a game and they got carved up. They was getting carved up.
Yeah.
So
that was last year against the Lions, right?
Yeah, man, NFL players, I'm always gonna be on the player side when they holding out. I mean, if you gotta make it weird, I get it, but hold out. Trent Williams did the same thing. He definitely didn't want to. I don't think he did a hold in. He held out. He definitely didn't want to go practice. He's a veteran. He was not trying to do that shit. So I think it's gonna take them a little bit probably to get them football legs up under him because they're a big part of that team. So. I think they're gonna have a little adversity. They're gonna come in first for sure. But it's the Niners. I mean, I do think their window is kind of closing because you're gonna have to pay Purdy at some point.
Do you feel and that's the thing. We're just talking about Jordan Love and his contract situation. Brock Purdy's probably gonna be not making record breaking, numbers. You think he's gonna break a record?
Listen, let me tell you right now. So the Niners they got him it's right now a Super Bowl or bust. You've been there twice. Yeah. You jagged it off twice against the same team. You know what I'm saying? If they fuck around and win this year or next season, I don't even know when Purdy's up for a contract, but he's going to get paid.
Yeah, going from
they've been to the NFC Championship how many times now with him?
Yeah,
twice in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They're paying him. So, but I think, I think they have to win soon because once you start paying the quarterback, you start losing players. You really are. Yeah. So I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know if they're doing what the Rams did. They were just kicking the can down the road. I don't give a fuck. We're going to pay everybody. We're trying to win.
Yeah.
You're trying to win. So once you the fucked up salary cap only hurts when you don't win a Super Bowl.
We only have this one life, man. And if I'm the GM and I'm about to get canned in 2 or 3 years, let me go and knock on the door.
Sure how the Niners figuring out because they're paying everybody to go. Like they're like,
Yeah.
fuck that. We're paying you. So I'm with you on the whole order for the NFC West. I think that whole division is gonna be fun. You got Marvin Harrison with the Cardinals. The Seahawks got some guys like you got Kenneth Walker. You still have Metcalf. You got Geno, of course. Don't give me the line, man. I know everybody on their defense like that. Don't give me like I used to. Don't give me the line like that. But
I think they've got some, solid guys. They still got Tariq Woolen, who I'm big on.
Okay.
As a DB.
Did Bobby Wagner go back there?
Who?
Did Bobby Wagner go back to the Seahawks?
I don't know. Last I thought he was on the Rams still, but I could be dead wrong. I don't know.
Maybe he is still on the Rams. Who knows? But that whole division is gonna be fun. But we are in order there. Like we got the same order. I feel like it's hard for anybody to actually pick anybody else to win that division at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like
I've seen some people on Twitter. One of our topics that we went over was, are the Rams overhyped? And it's because all over Twitter I'm seeing, and maybe they're just delusional Ram fans, I don't know. But they're saying, oh, well, having Puka and having Cooper Kupp and having Kyron and Blake Corum, yada, 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 that they're going to win the division. And I'm sorry, but I am not taking the Rams over the Niners.
No, I can't do that.
I can't do it. Maybe if I'm throwing a long shot bet, good odds on DraftKings or something, I might do it. But no, it's the Niners until further notice.
Man, even when the Rams won the Super Bowl, even when like the Rams had their squad, those teams, it was hard for people to pick them over the Niners at that time. I'm damn sure not doing it now. Yeah. And they had Aaron Donald there, right? I'm damn sure not picking the Rams. The Rams will have to show me to be like, damn. Yeah, like they can win this division. Like they really can. So
yeah, and I think they got too many question marks on defense.
Right now. Absolutely. And even though I will take Stafford over Geno, but Stafford will throw you out of a game.
Yeah.
He will.
He's done it.
He will do that. And he will throw you into one and out of one. So it's gonna be fun. Football is always a roller coaster, but that is the NFC West. Both of us have picked Niners, Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals in that order. I think it's gonna finish that way. NFC North. Let's do them. NFC North, man. I want to go first since you went first last.
Go for it.
I go first. Here we go. I got Packers to win the division. I almost made this team be last because the fan base been pissing me off. They've been talking crazy.
Yeah.
Like they just been dominating and they had one good season, but I'm gonna make I had the Lions being second in this division. Lions second, Bears third, and Vikings fourth. I think, man, listen, I do think, is it a long shot? Maybe, but I think Bears Lions can flip flop at the end of the season. But I have the Bears third, Lions coming in second, Packers first, and the Vikings last. Like with the Vikings losing McCarthy and have to rely on Darnold, I don't think they're going to be bad. I just don't trust him. I feel like the Vikings have more question marks than anybody else in that division.
Okay.
Especially at quarterback.
Yeah. They just I believe they got our third string quarterback that we just cut.
Yes,
Brett
they
Rippon.
did. Yeah. So
they needed him. They need somebody. So
yeah, I just think in this division, I think it just comes down to like the quarterbacks at this point. Like Caleb, I think Caleb really is that guy. But we had to see him do it. So excuse me, I'm not going to jump out the window, be like they are second or they're going to be or win the division. I've seen that. I've seen people say they're going to win the division. All over the place. And I knew this was going to happen because of Hard Knocks. And it was they had some good moments that make you be like, holy shit, this team, you know what I'm saying? Like they had a lot of moments in these 5 episodes for you to feel that way. But I go with the better quarterback. So it's gonna be Jordan Love and the Packers, Goff and the Lions, Caleb and the Bears, and then Darnold and the Vikings for me.
Gotcha.
Who you got?
I'm going to take the Lions to win that division.
Ooh, okay.
I've got the Packers coming in 2. They're obviously going to be a wild card. I got the Bears at 3, and they're a dark horse for me to make a wild card. I do think that we make the playoffs this year. I don't think it's going to be pretty. No. I think we're going to have to fight for it. Yes. But I ultimately think that we get there. I truly do. And the Vikings, I think they finish last. They've got they've just got lots of trouble at quarterback right now.
They do.
So I'm not even going to really put them in the mix for it. But the reason I'll take the Lions over the Packers is they remind me of what the Niners were a year or two ago. They have an elite running back. They have 2 elite running backs, if we're being honest. I mean, David Montgomery, maybe not elite, but still, he's going to get you what you need out of him. Having that 1-2 punch at running back is crazy. Their offensive line might be the best in the NFL still. Their defensive line is insane. Aiden Hutchinson's been impressive. I think it was a DJ Reader as a nose tackle.
Yeah.
He is impressive too. They've addressed their secondary needs in this last draft. Jack Campbell, really good at stopping the run. I just think that they're a team that and Jared Goff, I'm one of the biggest Jared Goff haters.
Yes, you are.
I have hated him since he was a Ram. There's just something about his face when I deliver one of these. But I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about him that always just frustrated me, but I got to give him his flowers. He played last year like a top 10 quarterback, and I don't think you can really deny it. Do I think he had a team that elevated him to that? And do I think he's always had a team, even with those Rams teams a couple years ago? I don't think he brought them to the Super Bowl. I think that team elevated him a bit. But I think we're going to see a similar thing here. I think the Lions just every position. I mean, even Laporta is looking like baby Kelsey out there, just with the receptions, the yards, the touchdowns. I don't know. He's really good. And the Packers, though, they're a clear number 2. They probably could be number 1 by the time it's all said and done. I don't disagree with you there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're going to have some inconsistencies this year, the Packers. I think the Lions are much more of a, just kind of march down throughout the season and collect all those wins. And the Bears, man, this team I've gone so back and forth with because I'm like, the homer in me says, yeah, they're going to win the division. They're going to do it. They're going to just shock the world with Caleb and Rome Odunze. I might love Rome Odunze more than I love Caleb right now. But, I don't know. That team to me can finish as high as 2, as low as 4. And if it's as low as 4, then we might be talking about a Matt Eberflus hot seat coming into next year.
Man, don't get me started on this shit, man. Don't get me started on this.
I know. Because if we finish below the Vikings,
don't get me started now. Don't get me started now.
I'm just saying.
Talk about that. Don't get me started on that.
What's the next division? I can't.
Next division is NFC East. Who you got?
I've got the Eagles winning that division. I think last year was kind of an anomaly for that team. Yep. It will be interesting to see what they look like without Jason Kelsey. But ultimately, I still really like them more than the others.
I agree.
I got a spicy number 2 for you here. You're not going to like it. I've got the G-Men coming in at number 2. I know. That's my Skip Bayless moment of this podcast.
Hey.
That's my Skip Bayless moment.
Listen.
I'm standing behind it.
You got the Giants coming in second?
I think the Cowboys are due for regression.
Yes, I agree with you there.
I think their O-line is going to create lots of problems for them.
Yes.
I don't like who's catching the ball outside of CeeDee Lamb.
No.
And I'm sorry, Rico Dowdle is your running back 1 right now, or Dalvin Cook or Ezekiel Elliott. I think they're going to – I think it's more of the Cowboys underachieving more than it is the Giants overachieving. But I don't know. That's a horse pick for me. That's a dark horse pick that they come into 2. I don't think it's extremely likely, but I could see it happening. I really could. And I got the Commanders finishing 4th. I don't really like what that team had. They're in a rebuild right now. So, maybe they put together – maybe they fuck around and get 3rd, but – I got them 4. I got the Cowboys 3, and yes, I've got the G-Men at 2. Malik Neighbors is gonna. First of all, their defense their offense has been so bad the last few years. People forget how good that defense is. That defensive line is insane. Dexter Lawrence, Thibodeau, and you've got Brian Burns. That might be the best D line in the league.
You got a Reeves. You got Kayvon Thibodeau. You got they got some. I think they got playmakers in the secondary too. The reason I even what's crazy, I'm so familiar with their roster because I just started a Giants franchise. So this is how I'm so familiar. This is crazy. Real quick, I started a franchise with the Bears, and I'm still doing it. But this is the first time where this is like it's fun, but it's kind of easy because I have a quarterback.
Yeah,
it's not even like it's fun because I'm building, but it's like I don't have to groom a quarterback. Like he's good already in the game, and he just got better. So I had to find a franchise where I could just start all over. But I say all to say That's how I know that roster. And that's why I was like, this is crazy that you picked them second in your division. Because I thought I had a spicy one. So here's my NFC East. I got the Eagles number 1. People not picking the Eagles to win the NFC East is just insane to me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start there.
Yeah.
People, the Cowboys love is just getting out of control. Like it's just every year, y'all just raise the bar of Cowboy love every year in the media. Like picking the Cowboys to win that division is just crazy, insane. So I got Eagles number 1. Man, I got the Commanders number 2, man.
Wow, that is a spicy one. Do you have the Giants?
Because listen, I'm gonna say I really like Jaden Daniels. I like what he did at LSU. I just like his makeup. I feel like that division after the Eagles is so just up in arms, just up for grabs to the point. I feel like he's so dynamic. There's not a lot of tape on him yet to the point he can fuck around, split with the Cowboys, Giants, or sweep one of them teams and just fuck around and come. Not saying make the playoffs.
Yeah, no.
But come in second because I really do think only one team is coming out the NFC East.
Yeah, and I'm not saying any of these records are going to be.
Oh, I already know.
That's the thing. It's like who can lose the least,
Yeah. No, seriously. So I think Eagles is just going to be number 1, and then everybody's going to be fighting for 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. But yeah, I got it. Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants.
Okay, so we flop 2 and 4. My only logic with the Giants is that I think, much like the Jets, their defense is going to keep them in games as much as possible. I think Singletary is kind of a very underrated running back. And let's face it, Khalil Herbert was able to do a solid, he's serviceable, and that's all that matters. And then now Daniel Jones has his first real weapon. I'm sorry. He has his first real pass catcher. Darren Waller's washed ass does not count. Darius Slayton does not count. I'm sorry. Kenny Galladay? He's had nobody. He's had nobody, and they beat the Vikings.
It's just crazy that you like Daniel Jones as much.
It's not even that I like Daniel Jones that much. I just think he can be competent. He can be a dunce. He'll throw you. He will cost you some games.
Yes, he will. It's the fumbles.
But I think that defense is also going to win them a lot of games. Not a lot of games. More games than their opposition in this division.
I got you. No, yeah, I feel what you're saying. Like you are correct though. That defense is a lot better than people realize because the offense is so bad. Like, and then I think the Giants getting Brian Burns is like a move that's not talked about.
Not enough.
Like that is a game changer on defense. Yeah. Then you got Thibodeau, you got Dexter Lawrence. So we already went through it. Like we went through who they have already as pass rushers. So that's what you need. You need pass rushers, and you go get a premier one. And Brian Burns is like.
I really wanted the Bears to be in on him, man. I was pretty disappointed when I saw him go to the Giants, and I'm like, well, we've got this extra pick. We've got next year's second. Can we make something happen? But I'm content. I'm content.
Yeah, same. No, I'm saying like, and I know I get a reaction of Giants being second. I got Commanders in second. I feel like we both feel like the NFC East is just that bad after the Eagles.
Yeah, it really is.
That's more so what it is.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, if the Eagles don't win it, we've got a whole other can of worms to talk about here because that is your division to lose.
If the Eagles don't win it, I feel like that whole coaching staff is different.
Yeah.
Sirianni's out of there. Yeah. No, he's definitely done if the Eagles don't win that division. But Eagles to win. David got Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, Commanders. I flip-flop. I got Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants. NFC South. Now, this is one NFC South was just like going back and forth with this was just kind of fun because this is a division where I feel like it's up for grabs outside of the Panthers. But who you got to start? Who you got?
I've got the Falcons winning the division. I've been very high on them for the last 2 years now. They finally have a quarterback that knows what he's doing. Whether he's going to be injured or not, I'd like to hope he's all right. Coming off of that, was it Achilles tear?
Was it Achilles or was it?
I forget if it was Achilles or a knee injury, but
yeah, I think it
regardless,
was.
I think whether it's Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix, and that's another thing too. A lot of people dog on that Michael Penix pick. Was it picked at the wrong spot? Debatable, sure. However, I don't think that them acquiring him was the wrong pick. You've got your Super Bowl window, as far as I'm concerned. This is going to be year one of showing people what you can be with premier players like Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, even though I know he's been having a rough go the last few years. But, Look at who's been
Shit,
throwing
ball,
to
they
him.
gotta get the ball to you. Shit, if they don't throw you the ball, he can't do shit.
And there's talks about him coming out in wide receiver or them running 2 tight end sets. I don't mind that either. That defense was criminally underrated last year. They're my division winner, and I think
they added,
obviously, and they added. Yes. Number 2, I've got the Buccaneers. They surprised me last year. I slept on them. Baker Mayfield, I can't help but root for the guy. He's a baller. He will not give up in a game. And I really like the rookie, McMillan, the wide receiver. I think, if something happens with Mike Evans, he's climbing up there in age, which, by the way, he's another one too. How can he get all these over 1,000-yard years and still just not be appreciated?
He don't be appreciated.
Yeah.
He over there, he got his Super Bowl ring, and he still just be putting up numbers, man.
Yeah.
No matter who the quarterback is, Jameis, Brady, Baker, I forgot who else he's had all type of people be his quarterback, and he just does nothing but perform 1,000 yards every year.
Yeah, I mean, I love Rashad White too. I think he's really solid. So yeah, I think that they're going to be number 2. Number 3, I'm going to have the Panthers, even though I'm rooting for them to finish last. Obviously, get that hopefully 33rd overall pick. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think the Panthers have done a lot to try and help Bryce Young. They realized that offense was so stagnant and he had no room to develop.
None.
Now they've got, Leggett. I think he might not, I don't know what his talent level is going to be, but I think he's physically gifted. I think, they have another guy there. I'm blanking on the wide receiver. Who is
Godwin?
No, I'm talking about the Panthers. I'm blanking on the Panthers wide receiver.
I blanked. I'm thinking.
No, it's all good. But they got Leggett. They've got Jonathan Brooks. They just drafted too. You still got Thielen. Deontay Johnson's the other one that I was thinking of. So, I mean, they could be a sneaky team. They're going to definitely be a trap game for a lot of teams this upcoming year. So I got them finishing 3rd. I think the Saints are going to be terrible this year. A lot of people are talking about the Patriots, and I have the Saints being a bottom 3 team in the league this year. I truly believe that. I think I've seen everywhere that their head coach is probably going to be the first one to get fired this year.
He's awful. They should have never even brought him back.
Yeah. I think that Dennis Allen?
Yeah.
I think, like I said earlier, I think they have a terrible season. They clean house, and I think they're going to be like, you know what, Mike Vrabel, you had a lot of success with the Titans. Let's try and, build something with you, get that going. Maybe they're in the room to draft a quarterback next year. Carson Beck from Georgia. Somebody. But they need change on that team. They were coming out of cap hell. They're stuck with so much money that they have to pay players. Minimal draft picks. Just clean house. This is going to be a wash of a season. Don't try to fool yourself. That's my take on them.
Yeah, I hear you on that because the Saints is going to get Derek Carr and then use it and then bringing Dennis Allen back was just bad. It just didn't look good. And giving Derek Carr all that money was just didn't make any sense to me.
Just about to say that doubling down on a mistake. Yeah,
that was just bad. That was really bad. But for me, man, I'm really high on the Bucks.
Okay.
I got the Bucks winning the division. I really like their defense. I think Levante Davis still there. I know they lost the corner. They lost the corner. I think they lost him to the Lions. I think they lost the corner too. But you got the big man in the middle. But I feel like you mentioned Mike Evans. I just really like Baker Mayfield, and he showed me a lot last season. And I feel like that team still has a lot to show us. They got a lot to prove. And the reason I wanted to make the Falcons first, I got them second because I just don't know about the quarterback situation. It always boils down to me a quarterback situation. Like for me, if you're teetering like this, I go to the quarterback. And not saying I think the Falcons, they can win this division for sure, but I just don't know how healthy Kirk Cousins really is going to be because if he's healthy with them weapons, they can move the ball, man.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins can throw the rock around. I'm not saying I get how people talk about him, but he can still be a quarterback. I just don't know with him and Michael Penix. I just don't know their situation.
Well, and a first-year coach too, right? I mean, they lost Arthur Smith, so maybe it starts slow for them. Who knows?
Yeah, it could. So I got Bucks first, Falcons second. I think the Panthers are still made strides. I think they're still that bad. But so I got them 4th.
Well,
And I got the Saints 3rd. If it end up the other way around, I can see that. But the Saints and Panthers are the Panthers are bad. The Saints are bad, but the Panthers are bad too. But like you said, the Saints should just, man, listen, watch this season because you're paying all these players on defense.
Yeah.
No draft picks. Taysom Hill got all that money. You got money in places that you don't need to be having money being spent at.
And maybe this is the year they decide to trade some of those defensive assets to get those picks.
You should, because I feel like if you're bad at the deadline, you got Tyron, you got Honey Badger, you can move him to probably to a contender. What's the DN name? Cam Jordan.
Cam Jordan, yeah.
Cam Jordan. He's a DN that can probably help. He can still help a contender if they're that bad to get stuff back. Or for us, send him to the Bears.
I'll take anybody pass rushing who's competent.
No, dead ass. No, for real. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely. I feel like we'll talk about. I feel like that's our weakest link is our D line still. But I feel like the Saints could get let off some people because I feel who else? Marshawn Lattimore. Like you need a corner. I get it, but I feel like Honey Badger's an older safety. Cam Jordan's an older DN. Like they're not going to be here for your rebuild. Like this is like your last season with this squad.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like they
did
shouldn't
not
be coming
fit the
back
trajectory whatsoever.
Yeah, like Alvin Kamara. Like I don't think he's coming back next season. I feel like all these players. I think it's done now. I feel like that. I think the coach should be done. Everything, but they're gonna be bad. So I got them 3rd and the Panthers 4th because it's just the Panthers.
Yeah.
I feel like one thing, man. Teams just don't do quarterbacks any justice, man. You can't be going to get. You're already a bad team. That's why you got the first pick anyway. So you can't just be tearing up a team and don't give him no weapons, and then you got fans like, "Why he's terrible." I don't think Bryce Young. I do think Stroud was better than Bryce Young, but I don't think he's that much better than him. That Bryce Young is that bad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
he gets a lot of flack for last season, and I don't know that C.J. Stroud would have succeeded in that offense either.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Exactly.
So, I mean, yeah, we're talking semantics that just aren't really applicable. It's the whole what if game, and it's
aren't. That's why a lot of people don't understand. You can't do that, man. Like that last year situation for the Panthers was awful. Awful. Like we're gonna give you a pick and we're gonna give you DJ Moore.
Yeah,
I can't believe that. Like, how does Ryan Poles convince him to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I remember seeing that. I remember just getting the notification and felt like a kid on Christmas. I'm like, oh my goodness, we got all of this. And Bryce Young, I mean, don't get me wrong, he was solid, but it wasn't anything like he didn't wow me with his tape.
No, exactly. He was
in Alabama, and it's just, when's the last time an Alabama quarterback's actually been something? Truly. I mean, people like to allude to Jalen Hurts. Yeah, well, he played at Oklahoma. He transferred. It doesn't count. You know,
Tua. Can you count Tua?
I'm not big on Tua, and if that's your number one pick, if I'm getting Tua, he's not turning a franchise around. Let's be real. Tyreek Hill has made him. Tyreek Hill should be getting a third of his money. Let me tell you that right now. Ain't no way. No way.
You're not a Tua guy.
No, I mean, I like him. Don't get me wrong. I think he's fun, but he's not going to go to an AFC championship. He will not be able to lose to Patrick Mahomes in the AFC championship, which is it's all formality at this point.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I get what you're saying. No, I'm with you, man. I hear you, man. I hear you. Shit, I think we got the same. Oh, we flip-flop. So you had Falcons, Bucks, Panthers, Saints, and I had Bucks, Falcons, Saints, Panthers.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see the division going both ways like that.
Yeah, this division is going to be a bit of a toss-up here. I think ultimately 1 and 2 is going to be either Falcons or Bucks.
Yes,
and then then there's the big drop-off with the other two teams.
If the Saints win that division, something mightly went wrong with the Falcons and the Bucks.
Oh my God, yeah, I can't see how they win.
Shit hit the fan if the Saints win that division with them two teams. But man, off to the AFC, which I think was the AFC is fun. God damn, the AFC is fun when you start looking at it. The AFC West, man. Last year, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I fell for the okie doke. I fell for the. You know what? The Chiefs ain't gonna win this goddamn division. I fell for that shit last year. And you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not gonna do that because we went through this shit before with Tom Brady. We kept saying he old or this team can't do this. Last year, the Chiefs, to their standards, weren't even that damn good, and they went to the. You know what we always used to say? One of my buddies all the time, matter of fact, a host for another good podcast, No Ketchup. My buddy Sean Little will always say, get the Chiefs out of Arrowhead and you be just fine. We got the Chiefs out of Arrowhead and they still won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So I'd say all that shit to say the Chiefs is winning the AFC West. If you picking anybody else to win the AFC West, you're falling for the okie doke. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for that shit. Like the Chiefs is winning the division, and if they don't, somebody got hurt. That's it. Period.
I think anybody could get hurt on that team, and they'd still win. The only person that can't get hurt is Patrick Mahomes.
That's it.
That's literally it. If
15 is up every 17 games, they're gonna win that division.
Yeah.
Period. Do you see who we all saw who their receivers were last year? They started off in disarray. Chris Jones wasn't signed. They lost to the Lions at home on getting their raising the banner. They were struggling. I think they lost to the Colts. They were struggling. And then, they don't even have home field. Oh, they can't win. Man, we just knew Buffalo was going to win that game. Nope. We just knew the Ravens were going to win. Nope. So I'll say the Chiefs to win this goddamn division. I would never, ever bet against Patrick Mahomes ever again. I would never do that. After what I just saw in these playoffs in that last season in that Super Bowl, can't have me do it. Can't have me. So I got Chiefs. Man, I think the Raiders are going to be a lot better than what people think. I think the Raiders are going to be very, very, very competitive. I really think so. I know the quarterbacks. I know I go off quarterbacks at this point. I know Justin Herbert is 10 times better than Gardner Minshew, but I don't know how healthy he is. And I do. This Raiders team just feel like they got a fire. Not saying they're going to make the playoff. I feel like they're going to be in second place in this division. I just really like. I like Antonio Pierce. The way he talks, his passion, that's what the Raiders was really missing. I feel like he's really bringing it. I feel like when the player's really going to play for you, it shows. It's a difference. You play above your talent level a little bit. You start making plays. You're going to start doing extra shit that you wouldn't normally do. Like, they weren't going to go play hard for Josh McDaniels. You saw it. Like, we normally see that sometimes with interim coaches, but we really saw how it was like a switch. It went from Josh McDaniels, and then it was Antonio Pierce, and it was like, it's the same team. Like, they were competitive.
Yeah,
like
they were.
They beat the shit out of the Chargers 63-21 last year. Like,
I remember that. That was brutal.
Yeah, like they beat the shit.
Yeah, they definitely. That defense is no joke.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got Max Crosby. Yeah. That's a game changer. He's scary. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what he is a game changer. So, I do like John Harbaugh going to the Chargers. I do like that. I love Justin Herbert. I think he can make all the throws possible. But he's dealing with a plantar fasciitis injury. A foot injury like that, starting off already, is scary because that shit takes time to linger. If you come back, it takes time to heal. And if you come back too soon, one step, you can re-injure that shit. Now you got to go right back to recovering. So another 3-4 weeks, you're missing real games now. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't know. The defense, I think, is going to still be good, but they're a little older. With both, I think Bosa's out. I think he's hurt.
Yeah, him and Khalil Mack. I really have no interest in.
Like that is just
at their wits' end.
Yeah, and then you got Derwin James. The receivers over there, they traded us Keenan Allen. You have I forget his name, but he's from TCU. He catches with his chest. He can be really good.
Johnson,
but it's
Mr. Glass Hands himself.
Yeah. So and then they don't have Austin Eckler no more. I believe he went to the Commanders. So it's like I don't know what Harbaugh's going to be doing over there. I don't know how healthy Herbert is. That defense, I feel like it's not going to be that much better. They're older. I feel like that's a team that, like, after this, you gotta get rid of. You gotta cut players. You gotta trade players. You gotta do what you gotta do. You got too much money on old defenders, and over there with the Chargers and the Broncos. I want everything bad to happen to Sean Payton. He gets so much glory off that one Super Bowl. Like, what the fuck has Sean Payton really done since 2006?
Yeah. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot at all.
And that last year with the Broncos was just like the way he just did Russ was just that was embarrassing. That was disrespectful to do that. Like how they was just doing that.
That definitely made me lose a lot of respect for him as a coach.
Yeah.
Just even like from a professional standpoint, I don't think he handled that correctly at all.
No, he didn't.
And then wasn't there a whole thing going on where wasn't he talking a lot of crap to about Nathaniel Hackett?
Oh, he was
And
talking
there was
crazy
all
about
that.
the
Just
thing.
all that's like, dude, are you in high school? Are you in part of Mean Girls? Like, what is
Yeah,
this?
like what the fuck is you doing? Like what?
I don't know, man. Yeah.
Like why are you bringing him up? Like yeah, that man had a bad season. He's moved on. He's coaching with the Jets. Like why are we doing this? Like he's always salty about something, or he's trying to be like this big bad bully out there. But he's just, I mean, it's just the Broncos, and he did all that to go get Bo Nix. I don't think the Broncos are going to be that good. They did resign Patrick Surtain, and the more and more I see these cornerback contracts, man, we got Jalen Johnson for a steal.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
we got him for a steal. So they did resign Patrick Surtain. Get your money, man, for real. Don't play a whole season without no new contract. I get it. You can get traded another time. One thing about the NFL, like players be getting their money. Like it ain't about like, yeah, you want to win a Super Bowl, but the Super Bowl is not about their legacy in the NFL for sure. Like, yeah, you want to win, but it's about your money because you ain't got that much time to play in the NFL. It take one hit.
Yeah,
you know
and
what I'm saying?
It's such a small window for opportunity to actually go and compete, let alone win one. That you just
So it's like when you
money comes
up for a contract. Yeah, you got up for a contract. Get your money. So shout out for him getting his money. The Broncos got rid of Jerry Jeudy. I feel like anybody from that last the regime is gone because they probably don't fuck with Sean Payton anyway. But I don't even know the other weapons over there with the Broncos. I just know Bo Nix, he gonna be all right. I mean, I don't think he's gonna wow you. If you watch him in Oregon, he's gonna make some plays, but I don't think he's gonna be doing nothing that's gonna have me thinking the Broncos is gonna be competing for a wild card. So they're definitely fourth for me. I don't know how many wins. They're just gonna be fourth. So for me, I got it. Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos. Who you got?
Yeah, so number one, I've got the Chiefs, obviously. They're three-peating this year, as far as I'm concerned. They are. I'm just going to jump straight to it. They have gotten so much better than what they were last year. They proved, like you said, they could win on the road. They proved that it doesn't matter if there's the whole Taylor Swift crap going on, whatever the case is. It does not matter.
It doesn't.
Added Xavier Worthy, who, even if he's not Tyreek Hill, everyone's like, oh, he's the next Tyreek Hill. No, he's not. And it doesn't need to be. He truly doesn't. He is going to – Rashee Rice, not going to get suspended until next year. A lot of people really are overlooking that. Travis Kelce is still going to be a dog, and I think he's going to keep staying in the game, kind of like Gronk. As long as they're winning and in the hunt for this, he's staying in the game. Mahomes, Pacheco is one of the most underappreciated running backs in the league. When we talk about elite running backs, he helps that offense flow the way that it does. I myself even overlooked Pacheco going into last year. Then not enough credit was given to him. I think he rushed for, was it over 1,100 yards possibly? But that team, I don't know who's going to be able to compete with them, truly. You could say the Lions, but the Niners last year were better than the Lions. I don't know. The Chiefs by a million. Then you've got number two. I loved your take about the Raiders because I agree. I think that defense, Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins.
That's right. That's the guy they got. That's a big pickup. Yes.
Big pickup. I really wanted the Chicago to make that signing. But they're going to offensively have Devontae Adams. They're going to have Brock Bowers. Jacoby Myers isn't bad for a wide receiver too at all.
He's
not. Antonio Pierce gives me a Dan Campbell vibe in terms of being a player's coach. Just somebody that elevates you from a morality standpoint.
Yep.
I just think that, they're going to come and want to play for him, try to be better for him. And ultimately, I think it's going to show on the field. My third team, I do think it's going to be the Broncos.
Oh,
I do think it's going to be the Broncos. And even though they're the horse team, I think that they're my dark horse for that division to get third. But they, Bo Nix, I think he's going to be closer to like Alex Smith when it comes to what his ceiling is. I think he's going to be a really good game manager. Smart. I think he's going to be a high IQ player. And they've got their running back room is so weird. They've got, I think, 3 running backs that could probably, you've got Javonte Williams, who many argue he really didn't get a fair shot because of injuries. You've got Jaleel McLaughlin, who did great when Javonte was out last year. And then they picked up from Notre Dame, Audric Estime. He is a physical freak. I think he's going to be a better goal line guy, but regardless, they should have a decent run game.
Yes.
Which Sean Payton has kind of thrived on over the years. And I think when you're having a good run game with a smart, high IQ quarterback potentially, I think it can bode for some success. Their playmakers are a big question. You've got Cortland Sutton, who, I don't know, he kind of was damaged by injuries early in his career. Then you had Russell Wilson, and him kind of looked decent last year.
Did.
I don't know.
He did.
You've also got Troy Franklin that doesn't get talked about enough. Because going into the college football playoffs, they said that it was going to be Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Keon Coleman, and then Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin was revered as a top 5 wide receiver out of this class. Then he just plummets down that draft board. A lot of people say it's character issues. A lot of people like to pin it on the intangibles of his game. Sorry, man. There's a lot of psychos in this league that do well, and if he is one of those psychos, and him and Bo Nix having that connection, I think that, again, you're playing fantasy, take a flyer pick on him. Maybe he does well. I don't really see Marvin Mims going to beat him for wide receiver too. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I think that team's going to be solid. Now going to the Chargers, I think with Harbaugh, this is going to be a year where they try to establish identity. Kind of like, okay, I'm going to find the players that I want on this team, that I want in my system. And I think they're going to have a lot of growing pains from that. Yeah. I think, I wasn't even aware of the Justin Herbert injury, but yeah, that's nothing to mess around with, obviously. That's going to be something that has to be closely monitored. And let's face it, the Chargers the last 4 years, 5 years, as long as I can remember, every year, they might go win in the division. Yes. Their team looking really back this year. And it's just, they're overrated. They're overrated. I don't know how else to lay it out. I just think that, Harbaugh is going to figure it out. I just don't think that it's this year. So that's why I'm going to have them finishing 4th and kind of underachieving, not really meeting expectations like they do every year.
And and the Chargers been like, we've been always like, this is the year for the Chargers. We've been doing this since LT and Phillip Rivers, man.
Yep.
We've been doing this shit for a long time. So it's like, I don't know when this is going to, I think Harbaugh is a good choice for them, and I think it can change. So I'm not mad at you for them having 4th, because I don't know what Herbert is going to be like. If he's not healthy all season, your season's a wrap.
Yeah,
anyway,
pretty much.
So and then you old as shit on defense. So
no playmakers really. You got McConkey and Quentin Johnston. I mean, okay.
That's his name, Quentin Johnston. He don't catch shit with his hands, boy.
No.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's bad out there. But yeah, we pretty much Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, Chargers for you, and I just flip-flop the end. So we pretty much thinking the same here. I'm seeing some here. AFC North. Since you rolling, man, who you got for AFC North, man?
I think this is the hardest division to predict in football right now.
Yes.
They're the most challenging division in general. I think that top to bottom, you can make an argument that all of these teams have a playoff run in them. Especially if Deshaun Watson is looking good. Maybe he kicks off some of that rust.
He looked so slow and lost last year.
Yeah.
Before he got hurt. He looked like everybody got faster and he couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he looked to me.
Yeah. I can't help but not have the Ravens at first. They've got to be first in that division. Lamar coming off an MVP year. That defense doesn't seem like it's missed a beat.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got Derrick Henry.
They lost Patrick Queen though, right? They lost him.
They lost him to the Steelers.
He did go to the Steelers. That's right.
Yeah. And he's gonna fit so well in that scheme too.
Yes, he is. Oh my God.
So, yeah,
oh my God.
I think the Ravens, they're a shoe-in for first. Well, maybe not a shoe-in. I shouldn't say that. But I think they are a heavy favorite to finish first.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I got the Steelers. They're my horse for the Steelers. They're number 2. They are number 2. When that team is healthy on defense with TJ Watt, they go from a solid, good defense to elite.
Yeah,
TJ Watt changes everything. I think that the Steelers having a competent quarterback potentially with Russell Wilson, and then maybe that upside in the late stretch with Fields. Maybe I'm a bit ambitious. I don't feel too confident about it. They're a dark horse second, pick in this division, but I love their run game with Najee and Jaylen Warren. I like Jaylen Warren a lot. Baby Austin Eckler right there. And Freiermuth, he's solid. They're a solid team. I think they're just a really complete and well-coached team. Again, that defense is going to really be the, premier spot of this team going into the season. But yeah, I think the Bengals, who are going to be number 3 for me, and by the way, the Steelers are making the wild card and the Bengals are making the wild card. That's my prediction here. I'm going in on that. The Bengals.
All right. Shit. Okay. I love this.
Yeah, okay. I got both of them going as wild card teams.
All right.
I think the whole narrative of this hot seat bullshit with Mike Tomlin, he's Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No
I think he's Russell Wilson. Mike Tomlin is the coach Russell Wilson deserved before going to Denver. He didn't deserve the Sean Payton treatment. He deserved a Mike Tomlin. And I think Mike Tomlin is going to unlock something late in this man's career that allows them to sneak into the playoffs. I got the Steelers at 2. The Bengals, the whole Jamar Chase situation freaks me out. I think the Bengals are one of those high upside teams with a healthy Joe Burrow, healthy Chase, healthy Higgins. Their run game seems a little suspicious to me. I don't really trust Zach Moss and Chase Brown out of Illinois.
Yeah.
I don't know what to really make of that. So that could be a real problem on their team. And their defense doesn't exactly wow me. I know they got Bates. Do they still have Bates, or did he go to somewhere else? I forget.
Jesse Bates. He went to the Falcons.
He went to the Falcons. There you go. Exactly. You're losing him there. You've got Hendrickson. I really like. I like that they kind of hung on to him. But I think they're a team that might not meet expectations this year, because we look at a healthy Burrow, a healthy Jamar, and we think playoffs automatically. And I just think people forget that this is a team sport. You could have 2 premier players, but ultimately there's so many other guys on that field, and I just think that they might be a bit weaker there. So I think that's why too. And then I got the Browns at 4. I think Deshaun Watson is going to look a lot better. I think I think 1 through 4 is going to be decided by maybe 2, possibly 3 games at the most in terms of their record.
I will say this. I will piggyback off that. I will say this. I think this is the one division I think everybody's going to have a winning record.
Yeah. I could see it.
1 through 4, I think everybody's gonna have a winning record.
Yeah, they're the most stacked division, top to bottom, and they're ridiculous.
I love your take though on the Steelers being second and why you have them second. Like, not just I have them second, but it makes sense about the Bengals. Like, for me, like I'm with you on the Ravens being 1. I just got Bengals second, Steelers third, just because I trust Burrow over Russ and Fields, but that Steelers defense is real. And then you added somebody, and then you already got TJ Watt. But I got the Browns last. But I do think everybody's going to have a winning record in that division. It's going to be a hard fought at. Like, that's one division. I feel like the AFC North and the NFC East is 2 divisions where when you talk about teams and fan bases that hate each other, they hate each other. Like, it shows on Twitter, like the banter between teams in the AFC North is just insane. Like, Ravens fans and Bengals, Brown fans get into it, but between like Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers, the banter is crazy. It's just so it's like those games, we still get like 13-9 games in that division. Isn't that shit crazy how we
Yeah, and I gotta say too, part of me going with the Steelers at 2 is me kind of doubling down on I think TJ Watt's going to be a defensive player of the year.
Me too.
That's my
defensive player of the year pick, TJ Watt.
I don't mean to spoil it. It's just like,
yeah, it's okay.
He is so talented, and when he is healthy and on that field,
goddamn, yes,
he's a game wrecker. And I just think that's going to contribute massively to their season. They're going to overachieve. I don't think a lot of people have them finishing number 2 in this division.
No, I don't think so. No,
maybe if you're optimistic, but
I've seen people say like they're going to be like the worst team in the league. I've seen people say they barely going to win 6 games. So we're going to see. There's always the Steelers always talking about they're always a talk of the town where of like as far as is this going to be the year they're going to be bad. So with you having them second, I can see them making second and being in the fucking wild card.
Let me ask you this. If the Browns, because I feel like everyone almost has the Browns finishing 4th. If the Browns finish 3rd, who do you think is the team that finishes 4th in that division?
Bengals.
Exactly my point. Why
I think it's the Bengals. If it wasn't the Browns to finish last, I think it could be the Bengals. The Bengals got a lot of question marks, and then
a lot of holes to fill on that team.
Huh?
A lot of holes to fill on that team.
Yeah, like, and I feel like I don't know if they still haven't figured out the offensive line. Like, I don't know if they figured that out all the way yet. So it's just, and like you say, you lost Mixon. I guess you had to Chase. We don't even know if he's playing Sunday. Like I said earlier. So I mean, I get it. They got rapport already, but you still don't want to not have and don't have game speed. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. So you don't want to miss that. So if it was a team, I can see them Bengals being last. Honestly, I can see anybody in this division being last outside of the Ravens.
Yeah. I will say this, and I want to just fact check it before I go on and say it here.
And I forgot the Ravens even got Derrick Henry.
Yeah. I've always said that Lamar Jackson needs an elite run game, and they're going to be Super Bowl contenders. I guess the Ravens this year with Derrick Henry could I don't know how you stop that. The Chiefs last year struggled with the run a little bit, and if you got Lamar going one way on these read options and Derrick Henry going the other, they're two powerful runners. I don't know. It's
and really Derrick Henry, yes, he's older, but he can still run the rock. Like he's not like the main guy no more. Like he can still give you some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like so, it's gonna be fun to see. It's gonna be interesting.
So a conspiracy that was brought to my attention earlier today by a Chiefs fan. He'll remain anonymous for the sake of this.
I think I know who this Chiefs fan is.
Yeah. We were talking about the Jamar Chase situation. He's like, I got a hot take. I'm like, all right, let's hear it. He said, I think the Chiefs or the Bengals are not going to pay Jamar Chase until after week 2. They're going to let him sit out not 1, but 2 games, and they're going to get mollywopped by the Chiefs, and they're going to use it as an excuse as to why they got mollywopped by the Chiefs because, we were missing our wide receiver 1. We realized what value he brings to this organization, and now we know we can give him the money. I normally call him crazy for half the shit he says.
I hope he's watching right now too. That's an insane ass take.
It's an insane take. It's a conspiracy theory for a reason.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Did they wait that long? God damn! Like what is taking so long? Anyway, I don't want to take too long on that, but what is taking so long for them to pay Chase in the first place?
You're going to pay him anyways. Just give him the damn money. I don't understand what we're doing here.
Yeah, like you're going to pay this man. Like you're going to pay him.
And you know what? Like you said, I'm happy the players, if they're not going to have safety, priority with the NFL, let them get their money. And I like that it's kind of shifting to a players league because we saw Le'Veon Bell, hold out, and he kind of had an unfortunate ending with his career. But
yes,
I think that we're not really seeing that as much anymore. I think we've got guys who are, sitting out, understanding their value at a young age. Because Le'Veon Bell was a little bit older when that all went down for him in the Jets, right? I believe.
He left. No, he did it with the Steelers. He held out, and then he ended up signing with the Jets. And it wasn't a great deal either. I mean, running backs now is just, I feel bad for them.
Yeah, they're screwed. Yeah,
they are.
But ultimately, I think it is becoming more of a players' league, so I am happy to see that. As a fantasy football fan, I'd like to hope these players make agreements before going into the season. But if they don't, I'm not going to hold it against them because you could get injured in every snap, and it could be your last snap of your career.
Absolutely. So get your bread. So I feel, I feel you, Jamar. Like if they're going to wait 2 weeks, I mean that's on them. But hold out and get your bread, my boy. Please.
Yeah,
do.
exactly.
Please do. Off to the AFC East, man. I felt like this was really easy for me. Like as soon as I did it, I was like, I'm done. Move on. I got Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots.
Okay.
Just like, I know a lot of people are like, man, Diggs left. He's with the Texans. I feel like if you watch how the Bills got back, like they started running the ball more. Diggs wasn't, and I had Diggs on my fantasy team last year. And the second half of the season, they was not targeting him like that. It felt like that. And like he wasn't a big part of the offense. I think even in the playoffs, he wasn't getting targeted like that, even in playoff games, to be honest. But I feel like they stopped having Josh Allen last year play Superman ball like he would normally play, to the point now I feel like that defense is, I know they lost some players, they're a little older too, but I still think that defense is still good enough. And Josh Allen is the best quarterback in that division. I feel like that should be like unanimous. Even though Aaron Rodgers is in that division, I feel like that should be unanimous. But I feel like the defense still will be good. Josh Allen is still Josh Allen. The running game can still do some things, and I feel like they're gonna win that division. The Jets, I think that their defense, probably the best defense in that division. It's just question marks on the offense. You just don't know what it's going to be like. You just don't know. That's why I had them second. The Dolphins are going to score a lot of points. I just don't. Defense is just, I feel like there's nothing. They're going to score. That's what they're going to do. They're going to be fun as fuck. They're going to score, but they're probably not going to stop a lot of people. I do think Tyreek Hill is going to get 2,000 yards this year, though. I will say that.
Okay.
I think it's going to happen. And the Patriots are just bad. And I found out some Patriots fans still don't think they got their quarterback.
Really?
I've noticed they're 50-50 on Drake, man. They still don't know if he's like the future yet. They don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see. I remember people were talking crazy like, we don't know if the Bears should get Drake. Man, listen, if the Bears on draft night would have said our number one pick is anybody else other than Caleb Williams, I would have flipped the table.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that would have been the same mistake as, 2017? With
oh, my God. Yes. Like, don't
or
it would have been so bad. Was it 2017? 2018? I forgot what year that was, but it'd have been just as bad as that. Like, this was a layup, and they would have picked anybody else but Caleb or lost it. So some people feel like I've seen some Patriot fans talking about, I don't know about Drake May yet. So I don't know if was he even named the starter.
No, he's not the starter. They're gonna have Brissett starting right now.
That's what I thought.
I don't hate it. You're not competing for anything.
Exactly.
Let him kind of observe a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't have to rush. That's the thing. You don't got to rush these quarterbacks. If you don't have to, don't rush them. If you don't have to, fuck what everybody talking about. It's your team. If you don't got to rush them, don't rush them. Now, when their team is just ass, throw them out there. Like, you really know you can't compete for shit. Like, everybody think they can compete in the first quarter of the season. After that, throw them out there, let them learn some shit. But I got them last. Like, no debate. Like, no debate there. Like, Patriots last. So I got Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots. Who you got?
I've got the Jets. I've got the Jets at 1.
All right. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all.
I think they get it by one more win. I really think it's going to be a narrow gap between the two teams. I think ultimately the Jets, and I don't think any of these teams are going to have crazy records, right? Like I can see them having the Jets
10,
having
11.
like 10 wins, maybe 11 wins.
To
the
win the
Bills,
division,
9 or 10 wins.
Yeah.
The Bills are still. I like their offseason moves that they've made to address their losses, but I got to see it play out first before I'm fully invested in them winning the division. And if the Jets are healthy, I do like them for the division. I don't know. Their run game, Breece Hall, one of my favorite running backs in the league right now. Garrett Wilson, one of my favorite receivers in the league right now. How can you not like them?
I love that defense.
That defense is just otherworldly.
I love the Jets defense. I'm not gonna lie.
Big Quinn Williams guy. A lot of people like to talk about Sauce in their corners, but Quinn Williams.
Hey, I'm a D-line guy. Quinn Williams is oh my God. I love his motor. I love watching him play.
I always tell Ronell, I'm like, future Bear right there. He likes to tell me how great he is. I'm like, don't worry, he's a future Bear, my boy.
Hey, he's such a dog, man.
Yeah.
A guy in the middle like that, it just wreak havoc. It just changes everything because that pressure up the middle, the quarterback can't step up.
And that's the thing. You've already got these elite DBs, and now he's making their job easier. Come on. What are we talking about here?
Hey, is Sauce the best corner in the league?
No.
Ooh.
No.
Who's the best corner in the league?
I give that title to PS2 over in Denver.
Okay, I ain't mad at that.
He gets overlooked because he plays for Denver, but if you put him on a contender, he's number 1. I think Sauce is probably – I think he's probably number 2, maybe even number 3. I don't know. I can't really think of who I'd put ahead of him at 2 right now off the top of my head, but he's certainly top 3 easily.
Yeah, for sure.
At the minimum. But
you might be right. Surtain might get overlooked because he is he's in Denver, so it's like
you go and put him with Atlanta, or you go put him with the Lions, or just a potential contender here.
Yeah.
The whole narrative shifts, right?
Yeah,
you go put Sauce on Denver, and people overlooking him too.
No. I'm with you. Go ahead.
Dolphins, I got them at 3, like you said.
Yeah.
Explosive offense. The defense is going to be an Achilles heel for them. They're going to struggle all year with that.
They lost big man in the middle. They lost Wilkerson. So it's like you losing players on the defense that was already giving up points.
Yeah. I mean, to me, they're no more than just a fantasy football team. Tyreek, H.M. is going to be fun. They got that rookie Jalen Wright. I like him quite a bit too. But yeah, they're gonna be missing a little bit. They'll definitely they'll be a pain to play though, because they'll score on you at any given moment. So yeah.
Yep.
But then I got the Patriots last. I think this is, like you said, one of the easier divisions for the most part.
So easy.
I feel like Jets and Bills are kind of interchangeable, and then that bottom tier is just Dolphins, Patriots.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was easy. That's like the AFC East is like one of them. Like if I turned the TV and I saw some shit like Dolphins, Patriots, I don't think I'm watching that on a Sunday ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I really want to see that. I don't think I want to see the Dolphins just whoop that ass.
It's probably going to be a Thursday night football game that we're just like, fuck it. I don't need to watch this game this week.
Yeah, you know how that is. We say that shit now that we ain't going to want to watch it. I'm going to be watching all type of shit. I ain't going to lie.
I'll have it on in the background when I'm playing some 2K or something.
I'm such a sucker for football, man. I watch anything.
Yeah.
I watch anything football. But the NFC South, man, this shit, I did go back and forth with some things with the AFC